Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. My co-host Eileen Delrossi is here, and we have Mike Smith.
Good morning.
Mike is dialing in from the Tampa Clearwater St. Petersburg area. So
Sunny Florida will do.
We hope it's going to be sunny today.
Or toasty Florida for sure, because we are near freezing, aren't we, Cliff?
yep, but at least it's not raining. So
I did have to put a long sleeve shirt on last Friday morning golfing because it was only 58 degrees. So it does get a little chilly down here. So.
It's awful.
terrible. So in 1493, Christopher Columbus first sights the island of Dominica in the Caribbean Sea, which is later colonized by the French and then the British. In 1957, the Soviet Sputnik program, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 2 on board is the first animal to enter orbit, a dog named Laika. In 1933, our former governor Mike Dukakis was born. And in passed away, 1639, Martin de Porres, Peruvian saint, born in 1579. Annie Oakley passed away in 1926 on this date. And in 1990, Mary Martin passed away. This is the feast day of Malachi O'Moore. He is the author of over 100 predictions of future popes. And of course, it's the feast day of Martin de Porres. So, so what do we think? How's it look for peace in the Middle East, Mike? Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I mean, I'm still not clear about this phase 2 that they're talking about and whether it's being really implemented. I mean, I haven't seen any big strikes or anything like that yet, from either side. But I'm hopefully optimistic. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I know that there were reports of Hamas killing people in the area in Gaza, but right now there's no major assaults going on.
Yeah, they do sort of enforce their rule with murder. Executions. Eileen, you have any thoughts on peace in the Middle East?
I think that's going to be something very hard to come by because it's always been just a very violent place.
Yeah.
But I do hope that it happens.
I think that if Trump is able to hold together the coalition of all the other countries around that area, that will put more and more pressure on Hamas and those type of groups to stop what they're doing or to go after them and make sure they're not around anymore. I mean, now that he's gotten all these other countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Emirates, Qatar, he's got them all pretty much lined up because it's not good for them what's going on. They're looking more at their economics than they have in the past, than the religious. And if they can hold that together, I think that'll put a lot more pressure, and there is hope for in the area.
Yeah. That's just the way I see it. It's fingers crossed. And the New York City mayor's race, Zohan Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I, is still favored to win. Andrew Cuomo is favored to come in second. And he has his own problems. He resigned as governor because of accusations of sexual abuse. And then we have Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa and independent Joseph Hernandez.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mamdani is going to win. If Sliwa had dropped out of the race, it might have had a chance of getting Cuomo elected. But I believe that Mamdani's going to win. But I don't see how that's good for New York City at all. I really don't see that. Because he's talking about he's going to have free busing, he's going to have money for illegals to defend them, the grocery store thing, housing, food. Where's all the money going to come from? He's talking about he's going to tax more the elite, the rich, 1%. They're just moving out of New York City. They'll just move to Florida or North Carolina or one of those states where the tax structure is better, and they'll just move. Unfortunately, nowadays with computers, and everything electronic, the New York Stock Exchange has been there for a long, long time. They don't need to stay there anymore. All that could move right out of New York City. And if that stuff moves out, who's going to pay for everything? It's the people he's supposedly trying to help. They're going to have to pay for everything. And I just don't know where the money's going to come from. And if they are going bankrupt or need money, I guarantee that Trump and his administration will not give New York City a penny. They'll just let them fall on their sword, because it's just crazy, some of the stuff he says that they're going to give away or spend. I don't know where the money's going to come from.
Yep. And indication of how it's distorting the economy. Just a second. Fru is here. Hello, Fru.
Yeah, Cliff, good morning.
Good morning. Let me merge you in here. Yeah. And we have Fru Nkimbeng with us. And how are you, Fru?
I'm doing well, Cliff. After the beautiful weekend, Halloween weekend.
I was under the weather, so I didn't really appreciate it.
I hope you're feeling better now.
I got a call very early, or text message, I guess, from Linda Clark saying, could I be the reader Saturday? And I'm still laying in bed and I'm reading this, so I call her back and say, sure. Little did I realize I was embarking on my own illness. So,
Cliff, can you slide the mic a little closer to you?
closer to me.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, the producer and I have a friend who lives down in the New York side of Connecticut, and I talked to him over the weekend, and he said that there was in his neighborhood, a smallish 3-bedroom that went on sale, and the sale closed within hours. No bickering. They paid the asking price of $870,000. Now that seems pretty high to me.
Cliff, the banks are giving the money away. It's not the consumer. The banks are giving the money away.
The banks are paying the mortgage payments? I mean, the consumer still has to pay the mortgage payment, right?
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Your wife says, Cliff, the bank will give us the money. Now, what are you going to tell the wife? Happy wife, happy life. Okay, honey. Okay, honey.
Did we go through this game before?
How's that, Fru?
I'm saying that did we not go through this mafia before? They jack the prices up, and then the market would collapse, and then who will suffer? The poor. I mean, there is a lot of game. People they think of things. The rich, they are the ones who control everything. They are the ones who own the bank. They are the ones who own everything. It is not by coincidence. And unfortunately, the poor will be following because they don't read, they listen to those who are sucking them and praising them, but they are looking and laughing at us.
Fru, the poor will always be poor in a bad country. The only place a poor person has a chance is in the United States of America. If you're born poor in another country, you're probably going to be poor when you die.
Well, but that's why when you come from the other country, people who are born here, they have not stepped foot out of their city or out of their state. They look at you as primitive, claiming that they know too much. But what is beneath on their nose that they can see, they are so ignorant and so sheepish.
Well, there is that part of it.
They have the people. Everyone in the United States has a chance to be a rich person. If they blow it, they blow it. Ask Barack Obama, how rich was he when he was born? That's a question for Fru.
What is it?
How rich was Barack Obama when he was born?
Where do you have to go to Barack Obama?
That's the question. You don't like it, Fru, but my point is, if you're born in the United States of America, your opportunity to be a rich guy is fantastic.
No.
Yes,
if
yes,
you are
yes.
born in the United States of America, you are born through those who made their money on the backs of others. You don't work
That's a
hard,
myth. That's a myth.
automatically you are rich.
That's a myth, Fru. If you're born in the United States of America, you have the opportunity to be a rich guy. And if you blow it, you blow it. Oh, I didn't go to school. You know what I did? I skipped school. I got pregnant when I was 12 years old because I wanted to have a baby. You blew it.
In that reasoning, John, you are right.
So you blow. You see, we don't teach wealth to the adults in the United States of America. Look, you could have been rich. If you didn't get pregnant when you were 12, you could have been rich. So maybe that woman will teach her daughter, don't get pregnant. Maybe the guy who says, you know what, I quit school when I was 18 and I smoked marijuana and I became a drug addict. And once he's taught, you could have been a rich guy. Maybe he'll teach that to his kid. We don't teach people you can be rich in this country. You just got to keep your nose clean and don't get people pregnant and stay off drugs. I'm done.
Anybody else want to enter into this discussion? Eileen?
No, but that explains a lot about John when he got pregnant when he was 12.
No, when I was on drugs when I was 15.
Oh.
But look, my kids will make fun of me. Almost everyone I grew up with is dead. And it speaks to the lifestyle that they chose. Drugs and alcohol. Early pregnancy. It wears on you. Now you can say over there, no, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't affect me at all. I had 3 kids by the time I was 16. Really? Well, you're still living in public housing. And you can't even afford a car. You walk everywhere. You're doomed. Don't get pregnant when you're 12 years old.
Mike?
There are people that have had opportunities in other countries, but the United States, the reason everybody comes here is for a couple of different reasons. They like the freedom of speech, they like the democracy, but they also come here for a better life because they've not been able to get better in their other countries. They don't have the opportunities, like John was saying. So people come here because they have an opportunity. There's not a guarantee, but there is an opportunity compared to other countries. And that's why people come here for the opportunity. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they come here to become rich. They come here for the opportunity to live a better life. And that doesn't mean that you are a millionaire or a billionaire. It could mean that you have the opportunity to have a safe environment to live in where you didn't have it in another country. Or you have the opportunity to get a better education. So it's not just about money, it's about opportunity to improve your life. And that's, I mean, when you think about it, why does everybody want to come to the United States? It's for the opportunity to have a better life. And that could mean you make more money. It could mean that you get educated so you can become maybe a lawyer or doctor or whatever, or that you just live in a safer environment.
Well, Mike, I agree with most of what you said. You said, why do everybody come to America? Most people come here because people always believe that there is always greener pasture on the other side of the mountain. And the Western world and the U.S. have done a wonderful job selling it through movie, this utopia heaven, through movie and through social media and through everything. There are some people that I know, hundreds, that abandoned, sold everything. They were very, very comfortable where they were. But because of the media, they did not appreciate what they have until they crossed the ocean and landed here. So it's good that we must also take that into consideration. And there are some people in this country, they watch those media and burn this and condemn these places. When they cross the ocean and go over there, they don't equally want to come back. So it is based on the individual. And those people who come from over here, they have seen hard times, yes. And then that hard time translates into a hard work. And then when that hard work translates into success, they become envious of those who are here taking life for granted.
Well, Fru touched on something. I read a book a couple years ago about immigration, and it turned out all those Europeans that immigrated, a third of them went back to Europe. They decided they didn't like it here. Go ahead, say it again, Fru.
I'm saying that's the reality, Cliff. Just stand on the border of Africa and see the amount of Europeans and Americans that are going in. The Western media cannot show that image. They only show Africans dying in the ocean and crossing here. That is the biasness of the Western media, and that is what makes people from the third world die in the ocean to come here. That elusive dream that they have advertised it, they have shown it in movies. Then they come here, they say, wow, after coming here, they have sold everything to become here, that there is milk and honey on the street. So they come here, they are stranded, they cannot go back because they are going back to the laughing stock. They would rather die here.
Fru, you're mistaken. You're mistaken, Fru. You know, the reason people come here is because many of my friends from Brazil came here as children 50 years ago, 60 years ago, because their government was killing them. Because their government, they couldn't even afford a pair of shoes. It's a corrupt government that makes people move. And you say, America's this, America's that. Fix your country. In Cameroon, you can't walk around spouting, I hate the head of this government. I hate the government. Give me a check, government. Give me a free house, government. Try that in Cameroon. You'll get a bullet in your head. Listening to you, Fru.
There is a different way of appreciating happiness and satisfaction. The Western world, they look at it in terms of gadget and material things. You may look at those people that they are poor, those kids that they are running barefooted. You could see that they are very happy. You look at the people that are having maybe 5, 10 cars here. There is no happiness that you can see from them. So when you look at things, just step on the side and look. You see, those people who are equally coming here, and by what you are saying, they can say whatever they can say, condemn where they come from, because they want to be accepted where in their new home. You need to be in their shoes, and you have never been in their shoes. So we need to be realistic.
Fru, I don't have to be in their shoes to know I never want to wear them.
he who wears the shoes knows the angle it pinches most.
I never want to wear their shoes. I'm going to read these 4 texts. I'm going to read these 4 texts. Where is Black Lives Matter? Black Christians.
So don't talk about them. Don't describe them.
I'm going to, for like it or not, I'm going to read these 4 texts.
Text.
Where is Black Lives Matter? Black Christians are being slaughtered by Nigerian Muslims. How about the Obamas? Remember, help our girls. That's from Jay. Where is the media if this happens to Palestine? It would be a wall-to-wall coverage. Maybe if they fix things in their country, then they wouldn't need to come here. If you listen to Michelle Obama these days on her podcast, she tells us how difficult it was for her to be First Lady. Give me a break. She was pampered beyond belief. She's turning into an ungrateful loser these days. That's from Bart. Back over to you, Cliff.
Yeah, I've got the Nigeria issue queued up for a few minutes from now. We'll take a little look at it. So now I don't know where I am. Oh,
Local elections?
no. Texas election. Does anybody remember Carter Page?
Cliff, why don't you skip that, okay?
Why?
Never mind the quiz. Who's Carter Page? Who's Carter Page, Cliff?
John. Carter Page is a Annapolis graduate who served in intelligence, served with the CIA.
Whoop-de-doo. What's Carter? Is it a boy or a girl?
The boy.
Okay, what's he famous for?
He's famous because the Obama administration, in violation of the rules, went out and surveilled him because he was a supporter of Donald Trump.
Okay, nobody remembers him.
Nobody? Mike, you don't remember this?
I know the name. I know who he is.
Yeah.
And didn't he? I mean, he ended up going to jail, didn't he? If I believe right.
Look at. Would you ask Mike would he recognize this Carter dude in Walmart?
The question is, would you recognize Carter Page in Walmart? And I don't think I would recognize him, except maybe he'd be better dressed than most.
I don't think we're going to get an answer.
No. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I don't think he's going to win, but I think it's a little bit of redemption for him.
He's running for what?
He's running to be a congressional representative. And in a heavily Democratic district, the last guy won by something like 69.4%. So Carter Page has got a long road. But still, I mean, it's like, I think it's back in the Reagan administration, somebody left court, a cabinet secretary had been tried and found innocent, and he came out and he asked the press, where do I go to get my reputation back?
Yeah, well, but Cliff, that's always been true, especially with the newspapers. I can remember as a kid, a lawyer was accused of drunk driving, all kinds of stuff. And then we got to court, innocent. They charged the wrong guy. And the guy said, where do I get my reputation? You can't get it back. They're not going to put it on page 1, lawyer found not guilty. Not going to go on page 1. It's not fair. And the American media, every media just lets it go. It's not a French page story. Let it go. I know we screwed you, but too bad. Life's not fair.
Yeah. Okay, so Saturday we had 42 million people lose their SNAP benefits. That's roughly 1 in 8 Americans.
Call Lori Trahan. Call Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey. Where are they on TV?
Did you see some of the Facebook and the TikTok videos of people commenting what they were going to do if they lost their SNAP benefits? How angry and how vicious a lot of these people were. I mean, there was a couple said, if I don't get my SNAP benefits, I'm just going to go in the store and just take stuff. I mean, I couldn't believe how vicious some of these people were, and saying that they're entitled to this stuff.
Well, Mike, let me ask you this. Did you see any of the Dodgers celebrations going in the street where they were shooting off fireworks? They had to call the cops and the firemen to tell everybody to go home the night the Dodgers won the World Series. Did you see any of that coverage down in Florida? I doubt it.
No, I didn't see that.
Did you see any of that, Cliff?
No.
It was only on television in L.A. Because I can watch LA TV, thanks to Comcast. I watch their local news now and then, and there they are rioting in the streets. And you know, no one got arrested. They almost said they're trying to set buildings on fire. No one got arrested. Terrible stuff.
The real question I'd like to ask is, why did we go from 17.1 million people at the beginning of the Obama administration to now we're at 42 million people on SNAP benefits? That's the real question. Why do so many people need, I don't know if they all need to be on it. I can't answer that question. But why do we have so many people on those benefits?
Mike, you bring up a good point. You should have to apply for your benefits annually. Whether it's your free housing, whether it's your mass health card, you should have to file for benefits annually. And if you don't, you lose them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I understand that you have to apply for them. I understand that, but you more than doubled. You're almost more 2.5 times as many people that are getting these benefits. And what bothered me is I saw one of the videos they put up on the news is the one lady says, well, we are entitled to our food benefits. You know, we want to have steak and lobster too. And I'm like, I don't even buy that stuff for what I'm doing. And I'll just give you a little side note. My parents, when I was a kid, used to help out where they had the food centers where people would go to if they needed food in that from the government. They used to hand stuff out. They used to hand out like tins of peanut butter, bread, butter, basic essentials, powdered milk. That's what they used to hand out. They didn't give people carte blanche to buy basically anything they wanted in the grocery stores. So that's what bothers me is that the people, they're abusing these benefits. There are people who need that to get by, and there are people who are struggling to get better. But it shouldn't be from generation to generation. It shouldn't be where people are on it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. There's something wrong if they have to be on it for that long.
Why does Lori Trahan, let's just continue. When you're on welfare in any state, it's a perpetual benefit. You never have to apply for it again. Why is that? Free housing? You have free housing for the rest of your life. You don't ever have to reapply again. Why is that? Ask
I
Lori
think things are
Trahan.
changing, because I know recently of somebody that we know of that now that person is on Medicaid, and they're now asking that person for their latest tax returns and their income and their bank statements. So I think they are starting to look more carefully at whether people need to get these benefits who are getting them, but it's the bureaucracy of the government. It's going to be a real tough road. And I know they're trying to make it that people have to show they're putting an effort into work or get something.
Hey, Cliff, do you
But,
want to talk
you know,
about time is
There's
shut?
no easy solution, but 42 million from 17 million, that there's something wrong here.
Cliff,
Yeah.
you want to talk about local elections? We got 20 minutes if you want to talk about local elections. Other than that,
No?
we can't talk about
the
local.
the only point I would make about local elections is one of our viewers texted me that there were political demonstrations down in front of the Ladd Whitney, on the grounds of the Ladd Whitney Memorial. And
About what?
About what?
You said political.
Demonstrations.
What are they?
They were
Just,
demonstrating
they
for
don't like
certain.
politics.
They were demonstrating for certain candidates.
Okay, so what?
At the Ladd Whitney Memorial.
Were they walking on the grass? They were walking on a grave. They were walking on the sidewalk. They were just surrounding the cemetery.
They were walking on the grass.
Walking on the grave. Forbidden. Disrespectful. Don't vote for that candidate. Don't support those people, because they will stomp on your grave someday.
Well, that was the point of this person who texted me. I mean, Ladd and Whitney, first to die in the Civil War.
Buried there.
Yeah.
It's a cemetery. You shouldn't walk on those graves. I mean, I'll go along with, okay, you can put American flags on the grave, but as for walking on the graves, shouldn't be done.
Okay.
Cliff, I'd like to bring up a little bit, because I didn't see on your agenda there. This Wednesday, the Supreme Court is hearing about the tariffs, because the Trump administration has appealed over the other courts about tariffs and whether they're legal or not. And I've been doing more reading on that, and I tend to agree with their reasoning on why they should be able to do the tariffs. If the President of the United States can't protect our country from unfair commerce, then what are we going to do? Because if the Supreme Court says you can't put tariffs on products coming in, that means that every other country, they can put tariffs on our stuff, and we have no defense against that. So, I mean, if people really look seriously over the years, especially with China, they have had an unfair advantage for decades now on tariffs. And I think that, because of what he's doing, we're getting more investments in our country with businesses. And I think it's going to help us in the long run. It won't happen tomorrow, but it will happen in the long run. And that's what made our country strong before, because we had our own businesses producing our own products.
I got two comments from the audience.
Wait, before you read those, there's something wrong with that picture in the upper left-hand corner. I get Fru, but what happened to Double Ugly? You just cut it off.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Cliff. You want to read the
Do you
text?
see that black thing running up at an angle?
Cliff, I don't care.
I care.
We can talk about it after the text.
This is terrible. Go ahead.
No, never mind. Go ahead, Cliff. Never mind, audience. Don't bother texting. Please
John.
proceed, Cliff.
You cut off the airplane.
I didn't cut it off. It's cut off in the photograph.
You have other photographs. Otherwise, I wouldn't know there was an airplane there.
Cliff, I was down there. What Cliff's talking about, Fru took this picture. Now, Cliff's pissed at Fru because he cut the airplane out of the picture. Take it up with Fru. It's Fru's picture.
I'm not mad at Fru.
Well, then, what do you take? What's the task here? Now, can you see the top of the plane? That's the whole shot, Cliff. Wait a second, let me make it bigger. I can make it full screen. No matter what I do, that plane is not going to show up. See, Cliff's
In previous photos,
angered because
the whole
Cliff's
plane
actually
showed up.
drunk in the pilot seat of the aircraft, trying to get Fru's attention. He's waving wildly, and they cut him out of the shot. That's why Cliff is angry. So can I read the text now, Cliff?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Both Florida and Kansas City, Missouri, both tried to run grocery stores. Both places it failed, and the stores went out of business. You are correct, Mr. Smith. A block of cheese, butter was given. Also, when you got unemployment, it was for 8 weeks, not 8 months. Good points. Back over to Cliff.
So, Fru and I listened to a longish...
Cliff?
Yeah.
I just want to add on what Mike talked about tariffs. I just wanted to make this picture. When you are pointing one hand, look at how many are pointing at you. What made and who made China industry so great?
Greed.
You remember those days of outsourcing that we were praising. We like to get cheap labor. We like capitalism is going where it benefits the few. Okay? When once we do it, we never blame us. We always point with the other finger. And these very people who are imposing these taxes, some of those goods that are coming are owned by Americans, even though they have Chinese name on it. And the very people who are imposing these fake taxes, they are the beneficiaries. The poor never will benefit. And if you are talking about that some of people, the poor are taking benefits, can you equally talk on how much billions the rich are getting rich every day? We are using the media just being puppet for those who are for the rich. We don't know exactly that we are stabbing ourselves. Because the rich are there, very comfortable. They are laughing at those who are holding the microphone and selling their ideology, but living in poverty.
Well,
I'd like to point out a couple things. Cheap labor and tariffs are two different things. Because the U.S., yes, we outsourced a lot of things to China with cheap labor. But in the meantime, China also put tariffs on any products we wanted to import to them. So they got the benefit of selling their products to us with no tariffs, but we had to pay tariffs or hand over part ownership of the American companies. And that had to do with greed of these companies. I'll agree with that. But the tariffs are different than the cheap labor. So I just want to point that out.
well, I think
you are right on that, Mike. But that is
Well, why did when we started to get tariffs?
John.
When we started to get, I'm going to talk. When we started,
But
Cliff,
Fru was talking and you jumped in after he
I
started talking.
couldn't care less. I couldn't care less.
But I care.
I couldn't care
As the
less.
host and moderator, I want
Cliff.
everyone to have a chance.
Okay. Have a good show.
All right, Fru, what were you saying?
I say that is the art of deal making. If others are smarter to make better deals, we better consult what we are doing.
Well, would you agree that the Chinese are better off today than they were 50 years ago? the average Chinese worker.
Of course, every child grows. Is America not equally better off today than they were 100 years ago? Why should it be Chinese? We don't want them to be better off.
We do, I think.
The thing that I'm talking about is the tariff situation, because what happens is China wanted it both ways. So the Chinese workers are better off, but they don't have the same opportunity to buy products that we do, because we didn't have the higher tariffs. We had multiple Chinese products, European products. We could choose from a lot of stuff. Where the Chinese putting the tariffs on the American products means that Chinese couldn't buy American cars or American perfume or whatever else, because the tariffs were so high, they were protecting their own products. So the reason why I'm agreeing with the Trump administration about the tariffs, let's equalize everything so everybody has a fair shot at the consumer for what products they want to buy. And that's what and it's not just China, he's done it with every country.
True. So, on a lighter note, Fru and I listened to a press conference out of Nigeria. I'll mispronounce this, I'm sure. Abeokuta in Nigeria. It was a press conference by a Nobel Prize winner in literature, Wole Soyinka. Is that right, Fru?
Yes.
And he has been asked to surrender his visa to the United States, and it was kind of an interesting discussion. And you can see why I got the Nobel Prize in literature. This was a great story. He wondered if maybe it was because he had accidentally taken chili peppers into the United States one time on a visit, and he had to admit that he had done that to avoid any further difficulties. And but really, when you get around to it, I think that he was comparing Donald Trump to Idi Amin, Big Daddy from Uganda. And I thought it was a very well done discussion of his problem. And especially the fact that he's going to get a tax audit in the United States, but he needs a visa to come here for the tax audit. It's a little weird. So, what was your take on it, Fru?
Well, it's only that freedom of speech. It's not easy to be a Nobel Prize laureate. This guy has taught in almost all the Ivy League universities in the world and in this country. It's just personal. If you are both some people in your mental acumen, they will try to humiliate you in another way. And if you listen to it very carefully, Cliff, he had torn his green card.
Yes.
So, and then he said he didn't need it, and that so that people should not think that it is because he had a green card. He thought that's his pride, and he was saying that in front of Americans in Nigeria, diplomats, and say, you know what, I thought it's gone. I don't need it, and that is why if I have to go there, if they invite me, I'll go with a visa. So if they block my visa because he made that statement, and he equally likens that they also blocked the visa of the Nobel laureate president of Costa Rica, because he made similar gesture. So I'm just, I listen to something that you listen to. Then the question that I will throw back to you is this how they should treat people?
No, I'm a little embarrassed about this. I think we should have some wider margins on people, especially people in literature who are asked to use their imagination to help us view problems from different angles. So, yes, I think that this was an overreaction on the part of the United States. Interestingly enough, Mr. Soyinka, I'm sorry, several times made the point that everyone he talked to in the consular's office in the embassy was extremely polite to him. So,
yeah, and he said that they had wanted him to come to the embassy to bring his passport, his visa at the embassy on 9/11. And he knew what happened on 9/11 and could not because he didn't know what was awaiting him at the embassy, at the U.S. embassy. That's what he said.
That's true. That's what he said. But so this is out there on the interwebs. His name is spelled Soyinka. So it's about a 25-minute video, and it's pretty entertaining. And it's a sign that some people in the Trump administration have no sense of humor. It's very unfortunate. One of the texters brought up the what's going on in northern Nigeria, that people are being killed. Some are portraying this as a Christian versus Islam issue, that people like Boko Haram are killing Christians in northern Nigeria. Deutsches Welle, the German news organization, says it's really the difference between farmers and herders, although that doesn't make sense either, that that's an excuse to kill people. So, so do you have any thoughts on that, Fru? Fru, did you drop off?
Hello?
Hi.
Sorry, my phone was muted. I say I've not really watched the detail and understand details of that, but I would say the Western media, in their biased coverage of anything that's going on in Africa, they want to inflame it. They want to paint it dark. But if the same scenario happens in Europe or in this country, you will see. And these people who are narrating this have never stepped foot in Nigeria. So that is where I am not very comfortable of people looking at things through their own lens, describing to people from their own standpoint without knowing their culture, how things came about, but just painting it in a wide brush because it is Africa. And that is what Europe and the West looks. They think that Africa is still in the dark ages. Everyone was in the dark ages, and Europe and America were more in the dark ages when Africa was equally a light out there. You look at books, those are buried in there. But what is being narrated now is continuously giving that false image because it fits the news.
Yep. Well, there are things going on in Africa that might deserve our attention, like in the Darfur portion of Sudan where there are 600,000 refugees and they need support, food, shelter, medical support. If the news isn't sent out, then support for those kinds of humanitarian relief is not generated. So.
You are very right, Cliff, but the news is sending out. But you know that if those guys are left alone, you go to all these places, you ask, is there any factory for weapon manufacture? Can the West and U.S. stop making these places a place for testing new weaponry and a dumping ground for the old ones? We never really could explain that. A poor man will look always as a beggar if you are raining bombs and everything. Our media carries that up all. They cannot govern. I hear John always make this blanket statement. They cannot govern themselves. Who has he ever asked himself whether there is any one factory that builds guns in these places? No. If we start asking something like that, then we'll be human and the world can be a better place.
Yeah. Do you think we can actually embargo arms to Africa?
How can the people who manufacture the guns, who owns the company that manufactures the guns, it's like biting the hand that is feeding you. Is that real?
Well,
if you look at all these countries in Africa, all of them are colonies of Europe. If it were elsewhere, there would be a European complete embargo without any question. And that is it, unless you belong in the club. But these are things that they cannot explain to people. Thank you.
okay. So that's it for the first hour. When we come back, we'll be on LTC. We will not be talking local politics because the election is tomorrow. And it's important that you vote and that you get your friends, relatives, and neighbors to vote. So, thanks for that you vote and that you get your friends, relatives, and neighbors to vote. So, thanks for that you vote and that you get your friends, relatives, and neighbors to vote. Thanks for that you vote and that you get your friends, relatives, and neighbors to vote. Thanks for that you vote and that you get your friends, relatives, and neighbors to vote. Thanks for that you vote and that you get your friends, relatives. What? That I'm not going to let Eileen in. Now, I can't let you go because this next segment's all about you. We're going back in history.
Oh, no, Cliff. You won't allow me to talk, so please enjoy yourself over there.
No, I just prioritized Fru over you because he was going to be going away. So,
Well, why do you get to talk?
so in the long history of the United
I'm not worth talking about.
will you promise that you'll never bring this up again? So there we are. So Mike, was
Yes,
there anything?
still here.
Was there anything you wanted to bring up before that we didn't get in the first hour?
Well, like I said, I brought up earlier, obviously, the Supreme Court. The other thing that I was trying to think how to bring the big thing I wanted to discuss some more is about the government shutdown, because right now, because of the government shutdown, I don't know if you've been reading or people are aware of the amount of flights that are being not only delayed but canceled. I get reports every day on that now, and it's increasing more and more. There was over 300 flights, I believe, yesterday that were canceled, and then thousands that were delayed. And it's going to get much, much worse, because the people that are air traffic controllers or work for TSA, they're not getting paid anything. So they're just starting to, more and more of them calling in sick because they need to go find another job to work someplace to get some income. Because just think about it. Myself, if I was still working, and now I got to go into work every day for a month, for at least a month now, and I have no income coming in. The overwhelming majority of people do not have thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank as a reserve to pay for things. So the people, they're just not coming in. And if they don't get something done fairly soon, the Thanksgiving holiday week is going to be a complete disaster. It's, right now, this is just normal airline flights by people. The holidays for Thanksgiving, it increases exponentially how many people are traveling by air. And the amount of flights, you're not going to see hundreds of flights canceled in a day. You're going to see thousands of flights canceled, not just delayed, but canceled. And people are going to be stuck in places. They're not going to be able to get out of them or get to places, because it's going to get worse and worse. I mean, multiple airports now have had times now where they had no air traffic controllers to do any flights. And so it's not only going to be the cancellations and the delays, it's going to be the safety of how people are going to be able to get around. So they're going to have to do something now that the unions are putting pressure on the Democrats. I think something's going to break, but I don't know when.
Well, do you think the election will make a difference?
The election, you mean who's elected? If Virginia and New Jersey go Republican for the governors, if somehow they both win, then I think that'll put a lot more pressure on the Democrats. But the real pressure is going to be coming from the unions for these workers. The federal workers, unions are starting to put more pressure on the Democrats that they need to vote and get it open. Because the Republicans are voting to open the government every single vote. It's not the Republicans that are trying to keep it closed. They're trying to open it up. And unfortunately, you don't have very many Democrats that are willing to vote to open the government back up. And they're so afraid of the left-leaning people on the far left that they won't vote for it. Look at Schumer. Look at a bunch of the other Democrats. You have a few sane ones, and I can't believe that Fetterman, out of all people, is the sanest person on the Democratic side for the senators. I've seen his interviews and how he answers the questions, and he actually looks at it like a normal person would. And it's crazy that him is the most sane senator on the Democratic side. He talks like a Republican, and they said, "Why don't you switch parties?" And he says, "No, I'm not going to do that." But what he says makes sense, and the longer this goes on, the more the pressure is going to go against the Democrats. I think they're waiting till after the election to make a decision because they're so scared of the left-wing people on the Democratic side that they want to wait till after the election before they give in, because they would lose their voters, I think, for the election if they didn't hold out until after that. So I think that either later this week or next week at the latest, I think you're going to see the government open up again.
Okay,
But that's just my opinion.
we got text to read here.
Want me to read them? Will you allow me to? Crown Royal is leaving Canada and moving their manufacturing to Illinois. Oh, I just heard a story about Crown Royal over the weekend, how every parent used to like put their Scrabble pieces or something in a Crown Royal bag when we were younger. Can the African media be critical of its countries without retribution? So who is responsible for the shutdown? We've heard both sides. Good point. A question for Flowers. Is that the type of plane you flew? Jay. Flowers.
Yes.
Is that the plane that was on the TV earlier that you were upset that you couldn't see?
Yes.
Oh,
I got
You're
a
a
couple
good-
thousand hours in that.
I see now. I think I understand the psychological makeup here now, I think.
So, this is Eileen in person.
Hi. Good morning, Mike. You know what I was wondering, actually? How did you guys all meet? Mike, because he's in New York and Florida. Are you originally from here?
So, no. I've done soccer tournaments in Massachusetts, though. The referee.
great.
I knew George Zalaroulis from down here in Florida, and him and I were friends. And so, you know, we both lived we're at the same senior community. And so we got time. And one day he said, he says, you know, I do this podcast on Monday mornings. Why don't you come over to my place at 6 in the morning?
6 in the morning.
And come over here because I think they'd like to hear some of your opinions. You know, you seem kind of reasonable. And I said, okay. And then I started getting involved with that, going to his place, and we'd be on the podcast together. And unfortunately, when he passed away last year, you know, I had already been doing it separately because his house had been affected. So that's how I got involved, Eileen.
Okay. All right. I remember George. I met him once here on the show. And one of the questions he asked me on my campaign website was, what is this doTERRA thing? Because I used to have a website for oils, essential oils, the oils, and some part of it was on there still. So he's like, he thought it was something suspicious. But I remember that it was a funny question.
You are suspicious.
I'm sure. Yes. Well, there's mystery. Women are supposed to be mysterious and suspicious. Don't worry, the truth will all come out soon, Cliff.
Well, that'll be good.
Yes.
And so, I guess I can't ask you how your campaign's going, can I? LTC rules.
No, but I was telling John, actually, in Centerville, we lost power on Halloween night. It was really sad because on Christian Hill, we get a good amount of kids, and it was the first Halloween in many, many years. There was just nobody. It was black, pitch black. I think there was an accident on 6th Street. I'm really a fan of these new microphones, John. When did you get them?
2-3 weeks ago. Apparently, one of them the old ones got dropped, and I always need 4, so now we have 8 of those.
Very classy.
Thanks to the funeral home. Thank you, funeral home.
So, from time to time, that John brings up the fact that he thinks the political parties are poisoning the process. And going back in history, in the history of the United States, only one president, George Washington, did not represent a political party. He was elected just George Washington.
Hey, Eileen, Jay is asking, did you bring donuts?
I didn't. I was thinking about it, but my follow-through just isn't very good lately.
Didn't happen.
Nope. Sorry.
Maybe next time.
Yes, that's my goal. I want to bring those Kim's donuts again, the ones that are warm.
No.
Yeah, that's my goal for next time.
We'll
I
eat 'em.
Show up in person.
So it turns out George Washington was on John's side here, and the Constitution makes no mention of political parties, and it did not anticipate them. Originally ratified, the Constitution declared that the second place vote getter in the presidential election would serve as vice president. So we don't do that anymore, not since 1804 and the ratification of the 12th Amendment.
Cliff, on primary day, who gets elected?
Nobody.
Why do we spend money on it?
That's a good point.
Because we think that it better frames the issue.
Because we always have is the answer. That's the
John?
freaking answer politicians will give you.
I was actually had a different answer, but that's okay. So,
We always have.
Yeah.
That's what they told. When I asked Kevin Murphy, and I like Kevin Murphy, he's a great city manager. Why do we pay for party elections? Because we always have.
Right? When,
That's a good answer, ain't it?
yeah.
Who gets elected? Why don't we pay for the Elks election?
That's a good point.
Can you drag that mic closer to your mouth?
Yeah.
Should be at the edge of the glass. There you go.
There we
Perfect.
go. Yeah, there's a lot. It just seems like we've complicated things so much that we're literally breaking down with this government shutdown, and that there's no easy answer.
Well,
And
it's the answer is our side's got to win, and you have to. America, the unenrolled have got to rise up and tell Lori Trahan, quit your party or we're not going to vote for you. Tell Elizabeth Warren, quit your party or we're not going to vote for you. The same thing for Ed Markey. Quit your party or we're not going to vote for you. What good comes out of the Democratic Party? And when you're done telling me that, what good comes out of the Republican Party? They
Well-
get down there and they lockstep. They don't vote for the Americans. They vote for their party.
right.
I elect Americans.
Well, somebody was telling me years ago that the Democratic Party now is much more left-wing than it ever was, and it's like the Republican Party now is more like the old Democratic Party. And so, I mean, I'm ignorant to a lot of this stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it needs to be so complicated or people want to hold things up. I just go back to like the simple stupid, right? Just keep it simple. But everybody wants to prove they're right in the situation, and that's just dangerous.
So George Washington, in his farewell address in 1796, talked of the spirit of party. He serves always to distract the public councils and enfeeble the public administration, that agitates the community with ill-founded jealousies and false alarms, kindles the animosity of one part against another, foments occasional riot and insurrection. So, but the two parties started off.
Can you break that, what you just said, down in like Eileen English?
Parties create divides in government
Okay.
and amongst the people.
So what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the first appearance of parties was Thomas Jefferson against Alexander Hamilton.
Well, the first UFO was spotted in the 1940s. Cliff, what good are the parties doing for the United States of America? For the average American, what good are the parties doing? And Eileen, you want to read this one?
And yes, can you Uber Eats donuts? And yes, you absolutely can. They're probably twice the price. Well, yeah. Well, I'm in a fight with Uber Eats and DoorDash. Like, I cooked all weekend.
What'd you make?
I made a tortellini dish with it's vodka sauce and cream cheese
How'd
and
it go?
regular cheese. I think it was delicious. My mother thought it was delicious. My son, who asked me to make it, said he didn't like it.
Disappointment.
But I would like to put a poll up and just ask people, if your kid doesn't like what you make, can you just tell him to starve today? But I don't think you can, because I end up DoorDashing him something or Uber Eatsing him something, and I feel...
There are a lot of crazy women in the world, wouldn't you say, Cliff?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We could turn the page on that, Eileen.
Yeah, all right.
But you're in a fight with Uber Eats and
Yeah.
DoorDash?
I feel like that's where most of my money goes. Like, Uber Eats, yeah, I don't know who texted that in. It is twice the price. At DoorDash, same thing. It's almost like I feel dirty after I do it. Like, I sinned. Like,
Yeah.
I gave in because I want my kid to eat,
And you weren't willing to do it yourself.
right?
Eileen, he would have ate.
Something.
I wouldn't do DoorDash. You'll eat what we put in front of you, or you'll be hungry.
Well, yeah, the parties cared, then they wouldn't be fighting so hard on an audit. It's very true. Diana DeZoglio's audit that she's trying to put together.
It's all about the Democrats don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not. Don't pick on the Democrats. Well, then whose fault is it?
Now, our moms always told us to eat what's in front of you. Oh, yes. Well, I was out with some friends I haven't seen in a while yesterday. And I don't even know why I allow my phone to turn on, because I always feel like I have to respond to my son immediately. And he's telling me he doesn't like what I made. And that,
Tough. So sorry, honey.
yeah, but the screams that
Bob,
he screams,
how can
like
he
you would think his
How
arm
can he
was falling
scream in
off.
a text? What's it, bold?
No, I picked up the phone because the way that he calls in such an emergency, I didn't know if something
So
was...
disrespectful to his mother. Look at, sweetheart, go in your bedroom, stay there until I get home.
Yeah, that's
Discipline.
discipline.
Anthony, I love you, but you're spoiled.
I'm not a fan of these middle school years. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
I'm sorry, I cannot give you any menus today for senior food because they're not out yet. It's November. And I copy them electronically off their page. I'll see if they're up, but I don't think so. But thank you for the reminder. I don't know what they're eating at the senior center today, but I assure you, if you're 60 years old and you want a dandy lunch, head over to the Lowell Senior Center. We don't care if you live in Mississippi. You can live in Tewksbury, Dracut, Chelmsford, Tingsboro, we don't care where you live. Head over to the Lowell Senior Center at the corner of Broadway and Fletcher Street. Head over there 10:30, go in and see Tara. Give her, and she'll send you in what's called the great room. There's a box in there you can put a donation in, or don't bother. But you just gotta tell her you want to eat, and go and sit in the great room, and you're gonna have a delicious lunch. Get over there around 10:30, and if you're hungry this morning, get over there now, because the City of Lowell Senior Center enjoys breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Now, it's not like big breakfast. It's like a muffin and a cup of coffee or a glass of milk. So if you get over there now, you might run into your old friends. So if your SNAP benefits are gone and you really want something fresh to eat, head over to the Senior Center. You just got to be 60. Thanks.
How's you and Evelyn's world tour of senior centers? I mean, the senior food. Have you started?
Yes, we did. And we've had a delicious time. Let me see, we got the Chelmsford Senior Lunch here. Get rid of Mike's picture for a second. And we got Lowell's lunch. So, here is, come on baby, get over there. This is Lowell's lunch that we had last Wednesday. This week we're going to Drake It for lunch. We wanted to go to Drake It last week, but they didn't have enough food
Oh, wow.
because you have to register a week ahead.
Yeah.
So on the left here, this is what you get in Chelmsford. If you go to the Chelmsford Senior, you do not need a reservation. You can just go to the Chelmsford Senior Center. This is what you'll get. But I'll tell you, Lowell's food's better.
Really?
The salad was salad dressing drenched. It was not a crisp salad. Maybe next time would be better. The chicken was great, like honey chicken. The milk was great. The rice and vegetables were tasteless. And whatever this was, it was yummy, like a pudding. Over in Lowell, we had this barbecue chicken with cheese. Oh my God, it was delicious.
What?
I should have asked for 2. And I don't know if they give you 2. I'll find out more next time. But they gave her an apple. I brought the apple home. And it was a yummy apple. And a crisp salad along with a glass of milk or a carton of milk. So again, this week, Wednesday, we're going to Drake It. We'll know more next week. Thanks for asking.
Oh, because you had to make the reservation. All right, makes sense.
Yeah, Drake It and Tewksbury.
Sorry about that.
You got to make a reservation.
So meanwhile, back in Philadelphia, the Alexander Hamilton, wanting to pay off the debt from the Revolutionary War, wanted a central bank. Thomas Jefferson was opposed to it because he thought it was bad for democracy. Thomas Jefferson wanted an alliance with France. Alexander Hamilton wanted us to make up with Britain and have an alliance with Britain. So there were 2 distinct views on how we should be proceeding. Which brings up the question, John, and I'm looking for you to tell me what the right answer is. Should we have universal health care? What is the American answer to that?
We need to have health care. It should be universal and policed in price. The government pays $58 to $158 for a hammer. Now you can get that same hammer at your favorite hardware store for like $5. But if the government pays for it, they pay $158 for it. And medical insurance, the reason medical hospitals are so doggone expensive is because of what's called the gold card, the Mass Health Card in Massachusetts. Pays a premium price to the hospitals. So if you can charge $10,000 for an x-ray, and you have and your x-ray will be paid for by Mass Health, why wouldn't you charge $10,000? So it needs, healthcare should be free and policed at the same time. And it should be, the police should be open 7 days a week. Those who police healthcare, you can't go home Friday at noontime. Got 2 texts here. Eileen, fire away.
I like it. Tell him to eat Halloween candy like every other kid. You should have given him the leftovers this morning for breakfast. He'll start to like it when there are no other choices. Yeah, it's going to come down to that, like me just being like, that's it. But he's doing good in school, so then I'm like, I want him to eat, like, and I want him to have that fuel for the day, so I'll do anything.
Eileen, you're the one who taught him he actually has a choice and a say. And he has neither.
Yeah, you're right.
And you have to look at, sweetheart, Uber Eats is going to cost us $20. Give me $20 and I'll call him. Other than that, you got to eat that. We don't have the money we once did.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it cost to buy that kid breakfast? Uber
It's
Eats.
at least every time I do it, $15 to $20.
Okay.
Like for a bagel,
That
a
include the-
bagel
does that include
and
the
a
tip?
hash brown.
That include the tip?
Yeah, 18,
Okay.
1883, I think. Is,
Okay. Got to drag that mic close to you, kid, or slide into the mic. That's good. Thanks.
Yeah, it was 1883, I believe it was.
Cliff, when your kids didn't want to eat what was in front of them, I know you were off flying your plane. Did Martha ever tell you what she told them to do?
No.
Okay.
But
Well, my kids didn't
if
want
it
to
was
eat.
me,
Well, my kids were eating.
and I was there.
No, that's okay. We don't
Wait,
care. We don't
I
care.
want to hear John and then
wait.
yours.
I would tell my kids, eat what's in front of you. That's it.
And look how they turned out.
Very good. It's funny, I know two people who went to school with your boys from Lowell,
Oh, yeah?
Lowell Catholic. Yeah, I didn't realize it until last week.
They had a lot of fun. In this room, they had a lot of fun. And there used to be what's called stadium seating here. They would have a couch on cinder blocks, 3 high, right where I am. Start here against the wall. And they had a big screen TV over there. And they had a wonderful, there'd be 20 kids in here every day,
Really?
every night, yeah.
This is the
And
place
girls
to
and
go.
boys, and they had a wonderful time, and they'd all leave with a smile. And we all knew where they were, and their parents were thrilled that they knew where they were. And nobody ever left bloody. They left black and blue a few times, but nobody left bloody. Had a good time.
Okay.
And what would you say, Cliff, to your kids if they didn't want to eat? Oh, are we not talking?
Hungry.
He'd say, grab that joystick and go get a job.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and don't eat. So, what is the American view?
How about Mike? He's got kids.
Yeah. Mike,
Yeah.
are you
So
still there?
you're talking about, I've been listening, you're talking about food and eating it. I mean, when I grew up, that's what you got. It wasn't a restaurant, so.
But how about your kids? When they didn't want to eat that nice oatmeal, what did you do?
If you didn't want to eat the oatmeal at breakfast, you didn't get anything else. Either you ate it or you didn't get anything.
There you
You know,
go.
that's how, when I grew up, that's the food you got. If you didn't want it, then you didn't get anything else. They didn't go and make 2 different meals for 2 different kids or whatever. We had 4 kids in the family. That whatever mom or dad were cooking for the meal or made, that's what you got. You know? So there was, if you didn't eat it, then you went without food. You know, that's what was on the table is what you got to eat.
Yep. So, John, in the No Party America, what is the American view on deportation of undocumented immigrants?
They never would have got in here in the first place.
Well, that's a nice dodge.
Well, Cliff, you can't go backwards. Kick them out. Goodbye.
Okay.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Okay, what about support for Israel?
Stop the killing or no more money. You kill one Israeli, you kill one, who's the other, Hamas? Kill
Yeah.
one Hamas person, no more dough. Hit them right in the wallet. Very effective.
Okay.
It's fun to be the king.
Okay, how about support for Ukraine?
No. 0. Get along with your neighbor or you're going to lose. Those are 2 corrupt countries. They always have been corrupt. They were in bed, loving each other. Oh, yeah. Go back 5 years. Loving each other. And then Putin got greedy. And, when you're a rat and a snake, neither is ever going to change. And as soon as somebody goes to sleep, whether you're the rat or the snake, you're going to die.
It's all karmic, I think.
They never got along. They never tried to get along. But they were in bed enjoying each other's company for about 20 years. After World War II, I believe, they enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah, but not in the 1930s.
Cliff, let's stay in this century, please.
How many died in the Holodomor?
We're a quarter of the century in. Let it go. Okay, now I'll give you the best for my Armenian friends. Okay, so there I am. I'm in Turkey, on vacation in Turkey. And out of respect for my Armenian friends, we're going down this river. I don't know what the heck river it was, but Africa was on one side and Europe was on the other. We had a wonderful day. So I see these kids, they're like 18 to 25, they're sitting down talking. I sit down with them. I say, hey guys, why won't the Turks apologize to Armenia for the massacre? And one kid looks at me and goes, why don't the Nazis apologize to the Jews? That's because the Nazis don't exist anymore. That's why. He says that government that killed all those Armenians, it was wrong back then, and that government's long gone. So who can apologize to these people? And I said, geez, you know something? The kiddo made very good sense to me. So take that tape, put that in your pipe and smoke it, Cliff.
Yeah, nice dodge. How
You
about
can call it a dodge all you want. That's my answer.
Yeah. How about equalizing tariffs? What is the American
I love
position?
it. I absolutely love equalizing tariffs. If you charge me $1 for a cup of coffee, I'm charging you $1 for a cup of coffee. I can't charge 75 cents because I'm going to lose a quarter. I'm charging exactly what you charge. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
So, and
It's not a dodge.
you think all the Americans think this way?
No, Cliff, I'm talking for John L., this guy right here.
No, and I'm asking
This guy.
for
This
if
guy.
there's no political...
Mr. Independent American, I'm speaking for me.
If
Did you
there's-
ask it in America? Ask America. Eileen, read this.
For some reason, it's okay for the newcomers to storm our borders, but not okay to round them out and kick them out. And the horrible media go right along. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like raising my middle school son. I'm afraid to say no to him.
What's he going to do if you do?
Good point. I need to get mentally tougher.
Let me tell you what I used to do with my kids, and this is like 20 years ago, when they were disrespectful to their mother or they ticked me off. I'd walk into their bedroom and say, give me your phone.
Yeah,
Give me your phone.
that happened.
Dad, no, give me your phone. Honest to God, they melt like wax in a fire. Give
Yeah.
me your phone. No. I'll shut it off. And I'd call Verizon. Look, here's the phone number. Shut it off right this instant. Dad, here's the phone. They didn't want it shut off because I had to go back to the store to get it turned back on again.
Right. No, it makes sense. No, those are the things that...
You gotta walk in and just say, Anthony, give me your phone. And he was gonna go wild the first time. Too bad.
Yeah, no, I definitely took it. I took it from him yesterday.
Good thinking.
So, John, you want to do away with political parties,
Yes,
and you want the people in the legislature to vote like Americans.
correct.
So
Vote for the
how
American-
do Americans feel? Not you. How do Americans feel about the right to bear arms, for instance? What is the American position?
They love it.
Republicans love it, but not Democrats.
No, I'm telling you, my redneck buddies down south, my redneck Undertaker buddies, when I go down there, they say, John boy, come on, take a look at this. They have automatic weapons. They know they're illegal. Say, look at this, John boy. They're so proud of their weaponry. And you want to go out? You want to come out shooting with us? And these guys go out shooting automatic weapons. And sometimes the cops show up and help them.
Okay, so the American position is Second Amendment. Right to bear
Cliffy,
arms.
when you don't like the answer, you go to this Second Amendment business. Eileen, you want to read these two?
For some reason, it's okay for the newcomers to storm our borders, but not okay to round them up. And
I think this is a repeat.
yeah,
Second
Short-term
one.
memory loss.
it's fun to be the king until you have to kick the brother out of the house. Right.
That's true. So, Cliff, please proceed with your quiz of what I know about American politics. I don't know about the Constitution. So please tell the audience what Amendment 55 is you're talking about or something like that. Constitutional Amendment 62. What is it?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you just threw some constitutional question at me. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Second Amendment.
What is it?
You don't know the Second Amendment?
No, that's why we have you here.
That's why, Cliff, what part of it don't you understand? I said, what is the Second Amendment? And
The part I don't
and you give me
understand
another
is
question.
whether you're trolling
What's
me or
the
not.
Second Amendment? Some of the audience may not know what the 66th, what's the 66th Amendment?
I can't believe that no one.
You
in
don't
the
know
audience-
that?
I
Audience,
can't
can you
believe that the audience doesn't know what the Second Amendment is. Eileen, what's the Second Amendment?
You're about to tell me.
I love it.
Ready?
I'm embarrassed.
I am not. Because what does it mean, Cliff? And do we follow it?
You live in
Well,
Massachusetts, no?
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell us what the Second Amendment is?
Sure.
If you have the right to bear arms, and I actually pulled it up, so I'm actually reading it. It says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The reason behind this amendment and why it's so important is an unarmed populace cannot defend itself against a dictator or a coup or whatever else is happening. So there's no defense against a rogue government if the people don't have the right to bear arms and stand up against a bad government. I mean, that's why our country was founded, because of the King of England was not giving people the rights that they thought they should have. So they had their own militias they formed, and that's how they overthrew the king in England. So, and I don't think it's a Republican or Democratic thing with the right to bear arms. I think it's a liberal or conservative thing, the right to bear arms. Because there's plenty of people that are Democrats that hunt and fish and have guns in their possession. So it's more a philosophy between conservative thinking and liberal thinking. A lot of people nowadays, they don't have weapons because they've never been involved with any of that. I mean, when I was growing up, my dad, my uncles, my grandfather, they all hunted, so I was around guns. In Boy Scouts, we had rifle shooting and shotgun shooting merit badges. You learned how to handle firearms correctly. So I think it's more the right to bear arms is a philosophy between two conflicting opinions, between the liberals and the conservatives. But the reason it was founded was for the people to protect themselves against a dictatorship or a government that was not there for the right of free democracy.
Yeah, we have a texter saying if we didn't have the Second Amendment, we would all be speaking Japanese. And Bart, Cliff's buddy here, says, please, Mike, jump in. These two boys need a timeout today. LOL.
Yeah, so, I mean, I that's why I did jump in. So
We thank you.
You know, it's everybody. It's always about parties, and people forget it's really about philosophies the reason you have parties is because of the philosophies of the two different parties. But it's, if you didn't even have parties, you'd still have those philosophies, whether it's liberal, conservative, in between the both. We have extremes on both ends. And common sense, and like I said, I hate to say it, but one of the most common sense senators that I know of right now is John Fetterman from Pennsylvania. I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen the interviews he's been giving this year.
He's a wild and crazy guy.
Shutdown and all that, but he's probably the most common sense senator that I've seen in a while.
Is he the
how
one that
about
was-
Kennedy? Senator Kennedy.
You talking about John Kennedy from Louisiana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he has a very good wit, and he's very common sense, and he's sharp. He can look at things and put a whole spin, a whole perspective on it. But he's pretty straightforward too.
Is John Fetterman the one that was shot also?
No.
No.
He had
No.
a stroke.
Oh, John Fetterman had a stroke?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew something medically had happened.
Yeah, Fetterman is from Pennsylvania. John Kennedy's from Louisiana. So
I enjoy listening to both of them on Facebook.
So, John, what is the American view on global warming? What's the view of all the Americans who are electing people to office?
We don't care, we don't care, we don't care.
Okay.
Did you just write that song?
No, I said that quite often.
Cliff, you were asking, I want to make sure I was clear on what you're asking, John. The American view on women, is that what you were saying? Because it was not clear to me. On the
Global
phone.
warming. We already
sorry,
know
what?
here women are perfect.
Yeah. How does the American voting public feel about global warming? Do they think it's a real thing?
Global warming. That's why I said it was all. It depends on where you are and where you live, and what you're seeing. They blame all the hurricanes out of Florida and the Caribbean on global warming. The oceans are warm, but yes, people have contributed. Industry has contributed to some of the environmental effects with warming of the oceans and that. But before people are around, there was all kinds of weather going on that was warming the oceans and causing all kinds of things going on. When people, they look back and try to figure out what was going on with past weather. So the other thing too is that the United States has all these regulations, and we're working to make carbon emissions lower and all the other stuff. The problem is you got places like China that are building another 200 coal-fired plants for energy, besides all the other stuff they're doing. So unless you get everybody working together, we could have zero emissions, and that still wouldn't change the emissions coming from all the other countries. So if they're not working as hard as we are, then how are we going to fix that problem? And that's the real question to ask, is how do we get everybody to cooperate together?
Well, Mike, let me just push back a little. First of all, I want to get rid of Fetterman and Kennedy here. So I'm going to put both of these characters up here so you can enjoy a quick pick at them. And that made them just both disappear. Let's just get this guy going first. Now I've got a background I can work with. And we'll go to this. This is doing wonderful today, isn't it? Here's Kennedy. Here
No
comes
Kennedy
Fetterman.
on the screen.
Oh, wrong screen. Gee, scroll. Tell you, batting 1,000. Fetterman.
Now we have Kennedy and Cliff. No, now it's up. on
Fetterman
the-
disappeared. I wonder where he went. No, Fetterman went away. I'll find Fetterman. But at any rate, the problem with the fuel is they tell you to save the cows, to save the earth, the horses, and the mice, don't drive your car anymore. Hey, I got to go to Market Basket later. You can jump in the lake. Oh, turn your heat down to 50. Live like you're living outside. Jump in the lake. I ain't doing that. And this is the alternative that the government wants us to give. Find a new energy. Look, it's just real freaking simple. Take NASA. Pull them out of the space industry for 10 years. Find a renewable source of energy this planet can use, and we'll let you go back to playing with your spaceships. But until then, take all the brains you have and find us an alternative so I can turn on the lights. I can make it 72 degrees. I can make it 72 degrees in the winter. I can make it 68 degrees in the summer. I can go wherever I want in my car. I don't have to pay for energy anymore. Find me that, NASA, and I'll let you go back to firing rockets.
Well, John, they are working on that with fusion reactors, and they are making progress, but it's still going to be a while before they can get that working the way they want. But they are making a lot more progress. The latest updates in 2025 have shown some pretty good progress for fusion reactors. And they're getting closer to where the energy they put in is less than the energy that comes out. So once they can come to that and commercialize it, but I think that's still about 10 years away, maybe less, but I'm going to say a decade away.
Mike, I don't think creating matter is going to be possible for humankind. I don't think we can create matter. However, we can harness the sun's energy much better than we have been. We can use nuclear power in a much better way than to making steam. And that's what the American public has been sold on. We need another nuclear power plant. It's a freaking steam plant. That's what a nuclear power plant is. It's steam. We're wasting that nuclear energy to create steam, and I think there's a better way. And I look to NASA to find us the answer. Last word, Mike?
Yeah, the fusion though, if they come up with that, that would be one of the cleanest energies, and that would create more than enough energy for everybody. But you're right, John, they're coming out with these mini nuclear reactors that are standalones and that are very safe. And those are another thing that is going to give us a lot more power.
Mike, it's a steam plant. It's a mini steam plant. Miniature steam plant. We have got to tell NASA, knock it off. We want free energy, and we want it now. Back over to Cliff.
Well, you have a lot more faith in NASA than I do.
They brought us to the moon.
We need to stay in this century. To quote a famous person.
You know, I really think that the future is if they can harness the fusion process. Everything I've been reading is if they can do that, they will have lots and lots of energy. And it'll make a big, big difference. But it's still...
Eileen, put another mic over there. That one just died. And turn the one that's doing his phone, turn it on its side. Just turn it on its side so I know the battery's dead. Now put another one over there.
There's a design flaw in the microphone.
Yeah, me. Proceed, Mike. Okay, Cliff.
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, there's lots and lots of different energy sources that they can get. I just read an article about this huge new dam they want to construct in China for power. But then it could affect the water flows to the neighboring countries. But they already had built one to generate, a lot of, similar to like a Niagara Falls, where they use to power the falls there. But they're talking that could take 10 years to build that. But like I said, they're spending a lot of money in Europe, Asia, the United States on this fusion process. And if they can get that to generate more than they have to put in, that could be the big winner.
Now, Cliff's a retired Air Force lifer. The problem with all these government programs, there's no end game. Research, research, research. I say you have 10 years to find a free energy solution for the United States, and in 10 years, the 365th day, we're closing your entity. You're fired. And we'll find somebody else to look. Or give them 5 years. There's no end. You see, they can just do more. They're researching these jets. They're researching clouds. They're researching the urine from elephants, whether we can burn that or not, with no results. We're paying them for there's no end game. You give these clowns an end game. You give us a free energy source, a globally available free energy source, and you can retire. We'll pay you for the rest of your life. There's no end game.
Don't think it'll work.
See, there's Cliff, because
I don't
he
think-
lived his whole lifetime in the
free.
service. But I'll tell Cliff this one, the
No
first war you
incentive to
lose
develop a free energy source,
is
because
your
you
last
can't,
war.
with our system of money and capitalism, there's no incentive if you can't make any money off it. I mean, that would be like the pharmaceutical companies inventing a pill you take once and you're cured of cancer. There's there's no return on their investment for that.
Well, Mike, there's nobody trying to stamp the sun out. Nobody's trying to block the sun, and that comes free every day. And all I'm telling you is, free energy sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the efficiency of solar panels. That's gotten better, but it's not where it needs to be.
Okay, one last question for John about what do the American voters think? Not what John thinks, the American voters. Is there any value to the Department of Education? Eileen, while he's contemplating that, what do you
The
think?
answer is yes.
The
But they need an end game. What is the Department of Education's end game? It's to perpetualize their positions, isn't it? What goals do they have? None. They're ineffective. They need to be changed. We need the education. We need them, but they need to have an end game. Okay, well, look at the Lowell School Committee. One of my favorite members sitting right over there. MCAS test scores ignored. Look the other way. We have jobs in Lowell here. Stop it. I want Lowell kids to have the best grades in the state. Make it happen. But we can't. Let's find somebody who can.
It's it's so complicated, honestly. The whole equation of it, and the U.S. Department of Education is the one that, created the standardized testing, and how much does that really have to do with the achievement of our students? And the U.S. Department of Education, by the way, is the place I get my student loan bill from. So, they're not really helping me out. But I guess the point is, what John said, what's the goals? What's the direction? Even at the state level, I don't really see much that the State Department of Education
Time is
saying.
short, kiddo. Can you read these three?
The main reason we have not been invaded by aliens, UFO kind, is because they know how bad Earth is. Do you believe that the government can control weather patterns? I don't know. Save the fish, but fish is on every menu in the world. Cuckoo. Good points.
The Department of Education, I think they should abandon that. It's not necessary. First of all, it's not a federal, if you look at the Constitution, it's not something the federal government is tasked with. That's something that's a state's right that they should manage. And that way, states can be more flexible on what they want to do. The national standards that the Department of Education put together, we don't need those. What we need real education for our students. I just saw an article, 61% of the students in the United States can't read above a sixth grade level.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
percent, Mike?
That's scary that they can't, So, if you want to control the populace for the government, if they want to control the populace, it's great for that, but it's not good for the people. So.
Nobody gets fired. They have no end game, and when you have a government entity that has no end game but to show up on Friday, we're going to have problems forever.
The No Child Left Behind literally
Oh, it
left
sounds
every
real
child
good, doesn't it?
behind. It left
Yeah.
every child behind, which was like a big federal initiative, and it just, I mean, we've made it more complicated than anything, and we're not producing kids that have common sense or like a lot of intelligence. And
Hey, we're running out of time
can't
today,
really
so
read.
tomorrow we got Bob Hoey's going to be here, Francisco Maldonado's going to be here, Tom Bomo's going to be here. It's election day. We will be discussing the local election in the first hour, but LTC says we can't discuss it when we're on them, so first hour only electoral politics tomorrow. Back over to you, Cliff. Time is short.
Okey dokey.
10 seconds.
I just want to put something in.
Go ahead.
The Department of Education is they dictate to the states on how they want to have things done for education. And the states, because they get all this federal money, then they sort of have to do what the federal government says. So that cuts down on what they really need to do. So that's why I'm thinking the Department of Education needs to be taken away and let the states run things the way they need to run them. And if a state does a lousy job, then people won't move there and stay there. If a state does a great job, it'll attract people to come there and make sure that their kids get educated properly.
Mike, you got a good
So-
angle there, but we have to broadcast our test results and prove to the American public we do have the smartest kids in the country. When Mississippi loses so badly, they don't broadcast that anywhere. We don't value education in this
I'm
country.
sorry, Mississippi's doing better than we are.
It's nice to have the smartest person in the room speak. Cliff, you want to close out the show being the smartest guy in the room?
Yeah. So southern states have gone back to the fundamentals of teaching children to read, and their reading scores have jumped.
In Mississippi?
Mississippi, Louisiana, those kinds
They
of
go
places.
back to the basics.
Yes, back to the
So,
basics.
So we're here. I'll squeeze in the last thing I always do at the end of the podcast. Today is National Sandwich Day, so just so you know that. And it's also National Housewives Day, if you want to look at that. So I just thought I'd throw in those two things. So today is the Sandwich Day. Go out and have a nice sandwich.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Eileen.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Okay.
all.
Get out and vote tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.